Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. I'm your host for tonight, Mohammed Abdelrahim. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez have signed a joint declaration to officially elevate Egyptian-Spanish relations to the level of strategic partnership. The significant step followed high-level discussions between the two leaders at the Spanish government headquarters in Madrid. And during the visit, His Excellency the President and the Prime Minister of Spain oversaw the signing of multiple agreements and memorandums of understanding, MOUs, designed to enhance cooperation across key sectors between the two friendly nations. We'll be talking about the Egyptian-Spanish ties, and especially the economic relations, and elevating the relations to that of a strategic partnership. They also discussed politics, of course, as well. We all know of the Spanish position on the just Palestinian cause, the very respected and appreciated position here in this part of the world. We'll be talking about that as well. And we have the great pleasure of having with us here in the studio Minister Plenipotentiary Dr. Mongy Ali Badr, who is a member of the UN Association of Egypt, and who's also an international relations expert. A very good evening to you, Dr. Badr. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Very good evening for you and your viewers. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Dr. Badr. Allow us first to watch a report about our main topic for tonight. Dear viewers, please stay with us. We'll be back here to start our discussion right after this report by Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdelhamid.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi arrived in Madrid on an official visit to the Kingdom of Spain. During his visit, the President met with His Majesty the King of Spain, the Prime Minister, and representatives of major Spanish companies. The President also attended an economic event with the Spanish business community and companies. The visit includes the signing of an agreement elevating Egyptian-Spanish relations to the level of strategic partnership, in addition to the signing of a multitude of memoranda of understanding in various areas of cooperation. On the first day of the visit, President al-Sisi received at his residence in the Spanish capital, Madrid, chairman of the Spanish company Navantia, which operates in the field of shipbuilding and maintenance as well as renewable energy systems, Mr. Ricardo Dominguez Garcia. The meeting reviewed the company's activities and potential areas of cooperation in the maritime industries, one of the company's fields of expertise. In this regard, the state interests in localizing these industries and its orientation toward becoming a hub for maritime industries and services were emphasized. The meeting focused on the Spanish company's activities in the fields of renewable and clean energy, green hydrogen and ammonia production. On the same day of the visit, President al-Sisi received at his residence in Madrid, on the sidelines of his official visit, the chairman of Barceló Group, Simón Pedro Barceló. The group is one of the most important international companies in the hotel and travel sector. The meeting reviewed the investment opportunities available in the tourism and hotel sector in Egypt within the framework of the Egyptian state's plan to increase the number of tourists visiting Egypt to 30 million. This is in addition to putting a number of Egypt's tourist destinations on the world tourism map, as well as efforts made to double hotel capacities and increase the capacity and number of hotel rooms in Egypt.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Thanks for staying with us. Also, of course, on Wednesday, His Excellency the President met with His Majesty the King of Spain, and the spokesman for the presidency said His Majesty had welcomed President al-Sisi as a dear guest of Spain, expressed that his country holds in high esteem the historical relations that unite the two friendly countries and peoples. The King of Spain expressed his hope for the visit to result in more cooperation across various fields to build on the momentum of bilateral relations between the two countries over the past years, and he also expressed Spain's appreciation for Egypt's key role and efforts as a fundamental cornerstone for achieving stability and security in the Middle East. And of course, the President expressed his gratitude for the warm reception that he received there, and also stressed Egypt's keenness on further strengthening cooperation between the two friendly countries. Of course, as we said, the relations have been elevated to that of strategic partnership. And of course, also the President praised the historic Spanish position in support of the Palestinian issue, stressing the need to implement the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. Of course, ease the humanitarian suffering there as well, the release of hostages and detainees, en route to building a path for peace, a two-state solution, and that is the position of Egypt, the Arab world, and many European countries, perhaps led by Spain, very strong on that position. We are here with Dr. Mongy Badr, the international relations expert. This is where I want to start, Dr. Badr, if you'd allow me. The political talks between His Excellency the President and the Spanish Prime Minister, and also with the Spanish King, especially regarding the just Palestinian cause.
In fact, this visit, it's very positive signs to globally, because Spain, as you know, one of European countries which mention very clearly that they are supporting Palestinian cause. Number two, they are against genocide. Number three, they are against displacement or forced displacement. And also they are supporting the right of Palestinians to have their own independent country. So that's why the visit of His Excellency Mr. President to Spain, it's a sign to the superpower, East and West, to mention what? To mention that Egypt is following very reasonable foreign policy. Number two, Egypt support the right of Palestinian with collaboration with our neighbor North Mediterranean Sea, Europe, Spain.
Our strategic partners.
This number three, it's also a sign to give a message to our friend in Spain that we are supporting you, and the president of the biggest Arabic country coming to Madrid to meet Prime Minister and to talk to Spanish people and to thank them for their wisdom situation related to the Palestinian cause. So this from political dimension. From bilateral...
Yes, let's stay with the political dimension for a while, because it was also very clear today. We heard Mr. Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, saying that Gaza belongs to, these are his words, Mr. Sanchez, Gaza belongs to the Palestinians and is part of the future Palestinian state. Again, his own words, their expulsion, he's referring to Mr. Trump's, the US President's plan. Their expulsion would not only be immoral and contrary to international law and United Nations resolutions, but would also have a destabilizing effect. The words of Mr. Sanchez.
In fact, Spain, it's the only European country which declared its situation very clearly like that.
Ireland, Norway, others, but Spain was very strong. And the President was recently in Ireland and recently...
With Ireland, Norway, Spain, Denmark. There are four countries already admitted the independence of Palestinian or recognized the independence of Palestinian state. So what we can see is that Spain, since last year, they are following a very positive track for Palestinian rights. For bilateral relation,
Before we go
You
into that,
again.
just the President's words now, His Excellency's words. We are quoting President Sisi here. The international community's support and adoption of a plan to rebuild the Gaza Strip without displacing the Palestinian people. I repeat, without displacing the Palestinian people from their land, the words of His Excellency the President in Madrid. And Egypt has presented a plan. And this plan will be forwarded at the extraordinary meeting of the Arab League here in Cairo on the 4th of March. And this plan is, how do you see this plan? And could this be the way forward? The Egyptian proposed plan, the Arab plan.
In fact, we receive a plan and we reply with opposite plan. And our plan, it's a humanitarian plan. And also it's a very practical plan. And also it matching with the desire of our brother in Gaza and in West Bank.
And should allay some of the fears of the Israelis. Because the end goal is peace.
The most important point is that President Trump, he mentions that he just, when he mentioned the forced displacement to make reconstructions for Gaza Strip, he mentions that it's just an idea. I don't mean it exactly. And he mentions that I don't want to make Mr. President Sisi is angry about that. It's okay. It's one of the ideas, but whatever you want for the benefits of Middle East, go ahead. And in the meantime, he mentioned very clearly through his consultant that the second stage of ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian should be completed very soon. For reconstruction of Gaza, that our plan depends on emergency housing, and in the meantime open roads for Gazan people, and in the meantime to keep all the people inside Gaza Strip except the people who have disease or something like that. We are ready to send our physician or doctors to Gaza Strip or to receive them in Egypt. The last point is that we call for international conference for reconstructions of Gaza, financing not only by Arab countries but by all world community. In the meantime, I don't know exactly if we are going to ask Israel for compensation about what they destroyed in Gaza Strip. I don't know this point, it's valid or not to talk about it. But the international conference, which Egypt is going to call for reconstructions, Arab countries and other countries will participate in this conference, and I think United States of America will be a part of financing countries in reconstructions of Gaza Strip. The point related the continuation of ceasefire, I think there is no option in front of Israel, because Hamas already declared that they are going to leave the administration of Gaza Strip and they are going to leave it to Fatah. I hope Fatah can manage this
to an independent committee. We understand that there will be an independent Palestinian committee where...
That's okay, but headed by whom?
We understand that there will be Egyptian also supervision and
Egypt should be there.
And European monitoring. That's what we understand.
See, Egypt should be there, even with Fatah or Hamas or international community. Should be there, Egypt. So, but the head of this committee, I don't know exactly whom is going to head this committee, but it's an idea to avoid war. It's an idea.
The goal is peace.
To steal the ceasefire between the two parties.
The goal is peace, and it's good to see Egypt getting closer and closer to its European partners, its European neighbors, You mentioned the 4 countries that
Yeah.
have recognized the Palestinian state.
Yeah.
Spain, of course,
Yeah.
atop of them. Norway, Ireland, and Slovenia
Yes.
are the 3 others. So
Yes.
we are seeing now Egyptian moves, and this is of concern to Europe. I mean, the situation in the Middle East is very important to Europe. And we are seeing now that there is some sort of divide happening between even Europe and the United States,
Yeah.
its main ally,
Yeah.
on Ukraine, on other issues,
Yeah.
on NATO issues. So it's important to have Europe, which should have the biggest concern, or at least the biggest stake in stability in the
Yeah.
Middle East. It's good to see Europe more and more involved, isn't it? And these are the Egyptian diplomatic moves here.
You see, it's a very sensitive point, dividing of Europe, but not because of the Middle East, no, because of Ukraine. This is the most important one. Number 2, because of economy also, because United States would like to gain profit from their participation in war in Ukraine, and Europe would like or dream to have their own independence far away from United States of America. Unfortunately, we listen to a lot of calls, a lot of declaration coming from, especially from Germany, that they are calling for independence of Europe, and they should have their own army, and they should be a little bit far from the policy of United States of America. After 24 or 48 hours, unfortunately, Europe go back to follow United States of America. This one point. The
Right.
second point related the cooperation between Mediterranean Sea, the 2 banks, north and the south. In fact, it's a very weak association. There is association for Mediterranean countries, but unfortunately it's very weak. So
It has great potential if exploited.
what we should push our neighbor in Europe, that we should transfer or elevate the bilateral relation between south and the north of Mediterranean to be strategic partnership, not only in trade and investment. It should be also in mobilizing of labor, because we have advantage in labor, and if we send our youth there, we are going to gain profit, and on the other side they are going to have a lot of profit. I can mention that yesterday, when the Prime Minister of Croatia was here in administrative capital, and he mentioned that we need Egyptian youth. Before them, Germany requested for, I think, 10 million Egyptian youth. And alongside or beside all of them, Great Britain, they are depending now on our physician or doctors, and they want to receive more numbers. And unfortunately, flying of our physician and the doctor to London, maybe it will make this balance because of the number of patients and the number of doctors. But myself, I'm very satisfied about that. It means what? It means that our youth, they are very clever. It means that our education system, it's very good. It's accepting in London, and we know that London, it have very severe condition related or criteria related to this sector. So we should encourage our teenage, and also we should encourage to put this in system, to be systemized, the migration of our physician to London. Because of what? These doctors, we spent a lot of him till graduation. Okay, so he took him ready. No, most of the countries, if their unique youth, they are going to fly to any country, they request from the doctor himself or the technician himself to pay back to the country some money from the government spent for him. This number one. Number two, we request the other side, whom receiving our people, to pay something, because it's like final product. He is going to receive final product free of charge. What do you think? Is it?
Yeah,
is it justice to receive final product free of charge?
You want to treat him as a professional sports athlete, for instance. Yeah, I mean,
it should be like
this is what happens in sports, for instance.
It should be like that.
If you get talent,
yeah,
you pay for talent.
Yeah, he should. He should pay. Yeah, because of what? Because according to GATS, this general agreement in service, if you use my idea, and this idea coming from Europe, America, or even from Egypt, you should pay. So I sent it to you the idea, and the human being himself. Is it justice to have it free of charge? I don't think so. The last point in this area, which I would like to concentrate, that even in Spain we sent the MOU related migration cooperation.
Right.
In the field which I explained to you, this agreement aimed to streamline and regulate labor mobility, ensuring structures immigration while expanding employment opportunities for both countries. So also we open our market for Spanish youth to come here. But this, it's with systematic way. And this is much better for our side and their side. Moreover, we sign many MOUs in economic and trade collaboration. And one of these MOUs is expected to strengthen commercial partnership and increase investment flow between Egypt and Spain. In this area, I would like to add...
Trade and industry was a focus here. I mean, a lot of MOUs in the industrial sector and also in the technical
I'm coming to you one by one, just to be easy for viewers to follow us. The bilateral trade, it's around $3.1 billion. The total Spanish investment in Egypt, it's not very big, and it's around 135 million US dollar, or approximately. And according to this MOUs, this direct Spanish investment will increase in Egypt. Another dimension, that tourism sector, as you know, Spain, it's a tourism country, attract a lot of tourists from all over the world. And we sign MOU, and these agreements to enhance tourism collaboration and leverage both countries, especially in culture and historical heritage. In this point, I would like to mention that His Excellency, Mr. President, he already extended invitation to the Prime Minister to attend the great opening or grand opening of National Museum in coming June, inshallah. And also he already extended another invitation to the King and to attend this inauguration. In fact,
wonderful.
In fact, this agreement, especially in tourism, that we would like to use the experience of Spain, because it receives more than 90 or 100 million tourists yearly. Of course, there are many reasons. Little bit doesn't exist in Egypt, Spain, in Europe. So tourists can come to Spain by train, by bus, by air, there are many means. Number two, the culture, it's very close to them. Number three, also Spain, it has very rich history for historical relaxation and also conference tourism. One of the sector...
Pioneers, really. They are pioneers in the field of tourism globally. Spain.
It's good to have joint venture in this sector, especially in Red Sea It's very, very important.
And the Mediterranean.
Yeah, of course. Well, a Mediterranean country, yes. In fact, one of the most important sector that infrastructure and the transportation.
Right.
You know that Spain, one of the pioneer of producing buses and the trucks. And we used to import a lot of buses and the trucks since more than 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Right.
So I think also there is MOUs, and this MOUs aims to improve transportation network, logistic, and major infrastructure project, benefiting from both nations and fostering long-term cooperation in this sector. I would like to add another point that maybe we are going to set up a shipping line or RoRo between Alexandria and Barcelona, or like what we did with Italy and what we are going to do with Croatia and also with Greece. So this kind of shipping line will ease transportation of goods between Egypt and Spain, and also reducing the cost. It means increasing competition of our product in Spanish market.
Very true.
This it gives you glimpse how to use policy in economy, how to use economy in keeping good relation between the two nations in Egypt and Spain, and also how to use the good relation between president level to serve all other sectors, including infrastructure. The last point in this area, in fact, and it was very positive point, that what we call beyond bilateral relation. Would you think that Egypt forget the African dimension? No.
Egypt is the gate to Africa.
We didn't forget this, that we already also signed a declaration between Egypt and Spain promoting stability in Africa, sustainable development, and also regional cooperation across African countries. Because of what? His Excellency Mr. President, he is the president of NIBAD 2063. And this NIBAD, the main concern of this initiative is infrastructure. And we can use the experience of Spain in infrastructure, this by financially or by expert or by transferring companies to execute some project in road or bridge in Africa. I would like to mention that, in fact, this visit, we consider it as a milestone in Egypt-Spain relation. This, it will strengthen economic trade and tourism and even infrastructure. And the most new point is migration collaboration. This point, would you think, if you remember, since a long time I'm with you and I mentioned we should develop Egypt-Europe partnership and to include the element of migration, so we can facilitate to our youth to go to Europe and to work there. Also, this joint commitment to regional peace and development. You see now, if I mention peace, I mention development. So both of them like twins. So it's another message again, globally, and also on regional level, is that we should try, or we should exert our best to reach ceasefire and to live in peace, because peace will create a sustainable development.
Absolutely. Of course, there are a lot of common traits between Egypt and Spain. I mean, for thousands of years, Egypt, especially in the ancient Egyptian civilization, was the heart of the world, was the dynasty, was ruled much of the world. And And Spain also for centuries, Spain was the major force in the world. This country that has also a genius location,
Yeah.
just like that of Egypt. I mean, Spain is just to the north of Africa.
Yeah.
It is the bridge between Europe and
Yeah.
the and the Americas.
Yeah.
Spain and Portugal, of course,
Oh, yeah.
and France and other. But I mean, Spain has a unique geographical location,
Yeah.
just like that of Egypt. It
Yeah.
has great history, just like that of Egypt, and it used to rule the world, just like Egypt.
yes,
There are a
you're
lot
right.
of common
Yeah, yeah.
traits between
Yeah.
Egypt and Spain.
In fact,
Their love for football, by the way, is also very important. And it's for our Spanish viewers or Spanish
Yeah.
friends, I mean, half of Egyptians root for Real Madrid,
Yeah.
the other half for Barcelona. So
you see,
50-50.
Yeah. So that's why if you would like to have the majority with Real Madrid or Barcelona, just we request them to يعني they can have Egyptian player. So we are going to follow the Egyptian player. If he is Real Madrid, we are going to support Real Madrid.
Of course, we will not never forget Liverpool because of Mohamed
Manchester
Salah,
City.
and Manchester City because of
Yeah,
Omar
that's-
Marmoush. And they're going to play very soon. Also, great fans here for Liverpool in Egypt. And now for City as well.
Yeah. So for Spain historically, in fact, it was one of the colonial countries, and of course, most of Latin America, they are, and also Middle America, they are speaking Spanish language, except Portugal.
Except Brazil, yeah. Which speaks Portuguese, right?
Portuguese, yes, you're right.
I know that Portugal is a country that you served in for the Egyptian government. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never forget that country.
And a beautiful Mediterranean country.
You can't imagine. Portugal, it has Cabo de Roca. Cabo de Roca is the last point in
Western Europe?
Yeah. Cabo, it means head.
Right.
But now Spain, in fact, it has very strong cultural dimension. This number one. Number two, Spain, in fact, it can help. It can help Egypt in our effort to stabilize the situation in Middle East. Number three, they can help to enlarge cooperation between Egypt and Spain. Can this collaboration will be beyond Egypt-Europe partnership? It could be. So that's why we should have the opportunity to deepen the cooperation with Spain. And I'm going to tell you, if we succeed with Spain, Portugal will follow. France will follow. Italy will follow. Because of what? The behavior of Egyptian is very peace. We are not fanatic at all. And also, at the end of the day, if you work in Europe for years, at the end of the day, you would like to go back to your home, to Egypt. So we don't make any problem for them, or even the culture of Egyptian. All Europe, they are like the culture of Egypt, because they mention that you have a unique cultural dimension, and they like it. So we have all the element which we can enlarge cooperation with Spain. Let me
speaking of the Mediterranean,
let me add one point related what His Excellency Mr. President he mentioned. What he mentioned when he was with the Prime Minister of Spain, that Egypt is mobilizing international support for Palestinian cause and opposing any displacement of Palestinian. At the end of the day, we are talking about deepening bilateral relation and Palestinian cause in our mind. I think
the Spanish Prime Minister was very strong on this. I mean, he said Spain will not allow the Trump plan to go through. I mean, these are very, very, very strong words. from Spain. I mean,
I
that
agree.
friendly country,
I
very
agree.
strong position.
I agree with you.
With the just cause. I mean, they are not supporting a cause that goes against international laws or, no, it's the just cause, and they're just respecting international law, just like Egypt is respecting international law. I mean, this is international resolution.
But he was bold enough to mention this loudly.
Yeah.
I'm against.
Yeah.
I support.
They would not allow. I mean, that's very strong.
I think this word don't allow. It's beyond his capacity. And who is to allow or no? But he is supporting the right of Palestinian. It's very good. He is ready to participate in reconstructions. Excellent. And also, the most important is that His Excellency, Mr. President, he met a lot of president of the biggest Spanish company in
renewable energy, by the way, was there.
Course, in shipping industry and tourism, hotels, engineering industries, and also
renewable energy, especially in green hydrogen.
Yes, and as you know that we have Egypt, which finish, I think, yesterday. Sorry. And this
the conference
related to what renewable energy and how to increase investment in Egypt. And fortunately, Egypt considered one of the countries which can be the main exporters of renewable energy, especially green hydrogen.
I'm happy to have been part of this episode talking about Egypt and Spain and this Mediterranean fever, Mediterranean love, Mediterranean partnership, Mediterranean cooperation, Mediterranean blood, as we always say. I mean, we share a lot in common, and surely Egypt and Spain and Egypt and Europe can do much together.
Believe me, I'm optimistic like you. I'm a little bit happy from my deep that there is European country support the right of Palestinian, that there is a European country understand that we are a neighbor and the relation between us should be much better more than the current situation, and also to hear from them they admitted about the right, and also in the meantime they are against America for displacement of Palestinian, and in the meantime they are ready to participate in reconstructions of Gaza.
They believe in peace. They believe in a two-state solution. They believe in peace for everybody, just like Egypt does. We just hope our eastern neighbors will also one day soon extend their hand to peace.
Their turn is coming, but little bit patient. These people from east used to come late. It's the culture of Chinese.
No, I wasn't talking about China.
Oh, you mean?
I was talking about Israel. We just hope that they would also seek peace.
Of course, thank you for explanation and declare. But I don't mean Israel at all. Israel never changed. But what I mean, the international community, how we can convince international community to support our situation. Because of what? If the big circle support, small circle.
We just hope that common sense would prevail and that Israelis would understand that peace is for their own interest. Peace is for everybody's interest. So they should listen to the voice of peace. And Egypt is a voice for wisdom and for peace.
I hope they can listen to the wisdom voice. I hope they can listen that we can live together, because before Israel we are living together.
Of course.
Number 3, for the future of their tonnage and their people, we should live in
speaking
peace.
of Jews living, I mean, there were a lot of Jews living in Egypt peacefully and in Spain as well.
Yes.
I mean, because we're going back to that common history between
By the way,
Egypt and Spain.
When Muslims they have been forced to leave Spain, both of them, Jews and Muslim, left Spain.
Right.
Part of Jews They are living in Morocco till now, and they are started to small numbers to be Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and
strolling back.
and even Turkey. Can you imagine?
Yeah. We're strolling back to
and they are
history.
still living in Turkey till now, and they are
Peacefully.
owning a big company in Turkey.
Peace is for everybody's sake.
Yeah, I hope so.
Dr. Mongy Ali Badr, Minister Plenipotentiary, International Relations expert, very happy to have been with you in this episode. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to be with you, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you, sir, very
Good
much.
night.
And thank you, dear viewers, for watching us. Please stay with 9 TV.